According to the National Crime Victimization Survey, victims perceive perpetrators to be gang members in about 6% of violent victimizations between 1998 and 2003. Gang activities have increased in the inner cities and have spread to rural areas. The United States Department of Justice has released figures estimating that some 30,000 gangs are operating in the United States with about 800,000 members. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daryl Archer, and this evening I'm going to discuss to you about the ongoing problem of gang violence and what we need to do to stop it. In recent years, youth gangs have grown from small farming towns to metropolitan cities, and the numbers involved have escalated at an alarming rate. Delinquent and criminal youth gangs appear to be more prevalent, and they're developing in all regions of the country. In addition to this, Stars and Stripes, a military publication, reported that 1% of U.S. military personnel are gang members compared to 0.02% of the general population. This figure has been highlighted for several years, and most recently is being evidenced through the proliferation of gang graffiti in Iraq and the prevalence of gang tattoos among our military soldiers. To curtail gang activities, schools and local communities should provide alternative solutions such as after-school activities and community outreach programs geared toward keeping today's youth off the streets. A reason some youth join gangs is to escape their current home environment. Gangs exist largely because they are able to fill up the empty spots in the hearts and communities of their members. The false perception of a better social and family life has often served as a magnet which draws many young men and women to the streets and the accompanying gang lifestyle. In 2000, 95% of police agencies reported incidents of violence and the existence of gangs in the local schools. In a number of instances, schools have reacted to the presence of gangs by creating school policies against gang activity, symbols, clothing, and slogans. This has some effect, but much more has to be done to completely address the problem. These gaps should instead be filled with family support and friendship. A reason some youth join gangs is to escape from their home environment. In today's society, some inner city and rural area youths are either living alone with only one parent or with a relative. The lack of family stability and the sense of loneliness and the enticement of a better life is why some youths decide to join a gang. In addition to the police units, the schools could have reformed gang members and leaders discuss their personal experiences and explain how becoming involved in gangs detrimentally changed their lives. One way to help keep a youth from making this decision is for schools to intervene. Teachers and school counselors can provide seminars which frankly discuss the pitfalls and lifelong consequences of joining the gang. They can have members from the local gang units visit the schools and talk to students about the negative effects which are certain to occur should they become in gangs and relate this to a life of crime. Another option is for teachers to encourage the youth to join after-school programs. By getting involved in sports, the youth can have a sense of belonging and build teamwork. Besides schools' intervention, local communities need to get involved. Gang youth who do not receive appropriate remedial education and vocational and social skill development, whether in the institution or the community, are likely to return to gang affiliation and related criminal behavior. When not in school, most teens spend their time in the local community. To help keep teens off the streets, communities need to provide programs such as the Boys and Girls Club. These organizations not only offer a variety of activities for teens, they also provide in-depth counseling to at-risk youth. When a teen goes to a Boys and Girls Club, he or she gets to pick a big brother or sister. This individual often serves the vitally important role of providing the teen with an avenue to discuss the problems and concerns of his or her everyday life, and in a number of instances, acts as the first real big brother or sister the teen has ever had. Along with teen-oriented programs, communities need to establish awareness programs for the parents to attend. As with the schools, communities can enlist the assistance of local law enforcement personnel to conduct forums and town hall meetings aimed at parents and their involvement in the process. The police should discuss the current gang activities in the local areas and offer assistance and suggestions to the parents so they may keep the teens from joining the local gangs. Multiple strategies are necessary because law enforcement must confront a range and types of gangs and gang situations. Law enforcement should utilize community mobilization and assist with opportunity provision strategies in an effort to reduce the gang problems. Positive relations with the community will serve the gang unit in many ways. Many of the people in the target areas fear law enforcement due to previous encounters with law enforcement. The gang investigator needs to be sensitive to and understand the community's culture. Gang violence affects everyone in the community. Schools, local law enforcement agencies, and the community at large need to work together to help curtail the spread of gang activity. Community mobilization to address youth concerns, as well as heightened collaboration between community agencies, groups, and civic leaders, can help to heighten the awareness and improve responsiveness to the youth gang problems. Leaders must be highly committed to resolving the problem, and any plan of action should be based on fully defining the problem and determining appropriate courses of action. The plan, which evolves, must not only be supported by community leaders, but also by those directly affected. Grassroots organizations have always been the tried and true American response to the problem, which affect the local community's welfare, because these organizations are most equipped to identify with the specific population. Community mobilization may be viewed as a strategy uniquely fitted. Providing alternatives to teens and showing them that somebody cares will help decrease gang violence and maybe even eliminate the problem altogether. In conclusion, gang violence and crime can only be changed by addressing the root causes. If the need of young people in gang-heavy areas were met with healthier and more constructive options, gang involvement would be less attractive, and as a consequence, gang-related problems will naturally decline. Gang youth must be held accountable for their criminal acts, but they also must be provided with opportunities to change their behavior. Success in suppression can only be achieved in conjunction with a focused school intervention program, community involvement of a sustained nature, and a full throttle effort in concert with the criminal justice system.